Bike Winnipeg is calling for change after the deaths of two people on Kenaston Boulevard last weekend. It happened on the shoulder of Kenaston and Enterprise Drive when a 31-year-old man and 25-year-old woman were hit by an alleged impaired driver. A vigil and sacred fire are planned this evening. Joining us now from Bike Winnipeg is Mark Cohoe. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Now, you and I have been talking for years about how the city is not really designed. It's getting better, but it's not every street is designed for bicyclists. Yeah. Kenaston, you find, is one of those streets.
Yeah, certainly in this instance, it's a poor decision has been made, and that's led to the tragedy. But at the same time, the city is embracing Vision Zero, which really looks at trying to create different layers of safety, so that if one layer of that safety is breached, there's something else to protect us. Mm-hmm. So really what we're looking at here is that section of Kenaston. There's bike paths to the south of it, there's a bike path and multi-use path to the north of it, but in between, they're forced onto the shoulder. And had that pathway been in place, maybe we'd be looking at different circumstances.
And this is Kenaston, south of IKEA.
Yeah. Where
there is no place for the cyclists to go, so therefore they're forced to go on the gravel shoulder.
Exactly. Exactly. There's an asphalt shoulder and then a sort of gravel and a ditch, and that's where you're kind of, if you're trying to travel and get from A to B, that's really the option that you have available, and it's where I probably would have been if I was traveling there too.
Right, and so this is such a tragic outcome, and obviously not one we want to see at all in our city. There are so many of these tragedies that occur. What do you want the city to do about this?
Yeah, the city has a pedestrian and cycling strategy. They have a road safety strategy, but they need to fund it at a level that's going to actually complete it, and that's the issue. I think that's really holding us back. We've definitely have, like you said, improved in the past, but the level of funding we have just isn't building that network that creates those layers of safety, that protects us, that separates people from whether they're walking or biking or rolling away from those vehicles, especially on the, Kenaston's an 80-kilometer-an-hour roadway.
That's fast.
And it's, it means that continually we're having to come out in these terrible situations where a family has lost their loved ones, and they were just out buying a gift for someone, and now they're not coming home. So it's provincial, federal, municipal government. They really need to all combine, make sure there's the funding in place to move those plans forward, so that we're not here again and talking about another tragedy in the future.
There's a sacred fire and there is a vigil tonight to support the loved ones of these two people who were killed. Bike Winnipeg is going to be there. Yeah,
I think it's the family is organizing it, and it's something that I think is just showing that human empathy, and that fact that it could have been me, it could have been another person in the viewer today. Mm-hmm. Just someone just out doing everyday things and they didn't come home. And how do we act to change that? And how do we recognize that a life has been lost, that lives have been lost?
But you are doing something to support the victims' loved ones tonight. What is it you're doing?
Yeah, it's just, we're going out. I'm going to go out and, provide a gift and just help be there and show that, it's recognized that these people are missed, and that this is a tragedy that we all kind of feel.